Hey guys, Julian here, and today I'm going to be making a future garage track from scratch. So it's been a little while since I've done one of these, and I figured what better time than now. So I'm going to be giving away the project file and the samples and MIDI and presets and everything I end up with at the end of this video for free in the description, so make sure to check that out. And yeah, let's get started. So I have some drums prepared here. You can hear all these different sounds. I also have a little bit of vinyl noise. So I'm going to take that to start with. We're going to just drag that in here, and let's make an 8-bar loop out of that. And then what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to put this to, let's do like 136. And so from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a drum rack. And we're going to just take some of these hi-hats. Matter of fact, I'm just going to take all of them. And we're just going to put them in there. And so from there, I think I'm going to make like some kind of a steady beat that we can just sort of follow for the rest of everything else. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to choose one of these and have it just play on the upbeats. So if you don't know what the upbeats are, I'll kind of show you in a second. So this one will be just playing this. So just kind of like something steady that we can build other things off of. Anyway, what I'm also going to do here is I'm going to get an EQ8. I'm going to cut out some low end on both this. Maybe that's a little bit too much. And then we're going to also cut out some low end on this. And I'm putting this on the whole drum rack here because we have all these other hi-hats, and this is kind of why I like using drum racks for like sort of groups of sounds as opposed to just like all my drums, because all these hi-hats are gonna probably need the same EQ8 like low cut. Like if you listen, some of these do have some kind of low end in them, just like this one does. So yeah, we can just put that on the whole group of them and be good. Cool. So from here, I think I'm going to put in the rim shot. Actually, I have a few here. And I was thinking I'll kind of use this one as like my main rim shot. And then those other ones as like some percussion. So let's put this in here. I'm going to just make a little 4-bar loop out of this. And let's do like this pattern. That sounds cool. I'm going to also take all of these little 16th notes here. These ones that are hitting on a 16th note. And we're just going to drag this back a little bit so we get that swing. I'm going to do that more when I start adding like a lot of percussion layers to this as well. You can hear that swing in there. Cool, so from here I'll add the kick. I have this kick sample. And we will just put this in maybe like... That sounds cool. And then we can just take that 16th note, swing it a little bit, and then maybe we'll do like this for the second time. Yeah, that works. Alright, excellent. So let's copy that over, and then we'll loop this out here. And I think I'm going to shorten the kick a little bit. Maybe even give it a bit of filter. Sometimes I like to take a kick like this, where it's just kind of like, don't. And take it and put a filter, like a low pass filter with an envelope on it. Because you can hear what happens is we still get the brightness of that full transient. But it's not as like, just don't, as it was before. Cool, so this is sounding pretty good so far. So I've been doing drums for a little while now. I definitely want to do more with the drums, but now that I've got something basic, I think I'm going to actually write the bass line. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to get analog. I'm going to make like a respace here. If you don't know what a respace is, I'm going to explain it in a second. But I've been liking using analog for these lately. It gives you like a really nice kind of like more analog sound. No pun intended. Anyway, what we're going to do here is we're going to take the amp envelope and turn off all the release, turn the sustain and decay all the way up like that. And then we are going to turn off the envelope on the filter, and we're going to turn the frequency down. So basically what we're doing is we're just dialing that back. You can hear we're taking a really harmonically rich sound, and making it a little bit more kind of like sine wavy. So from there, what we're going to do is we are going to take, luckily we already have 2 saw waves here, so we're just going to detune one of them. Like so, and then maybe we'll add a little bit of unison as well. That sounds pretty good. So from here, I'm going to add some effects. I'm going to add a little bit of saturation. Yeah, that's nice. And before that, actually, I'm going to put a little bit of chorus. So we kind of get like that big, sort of spacey, like Future Garage style bass. Cool, so now we can write in the bass line. And I have some ideas. I'm thinking maybe something like this. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Okay, and then we can maybe even do like a little bit more stuff with it as well. Like we can maybe go to, this might sound kind of weird, but we can hear. Like we can maybe, yeah, let's do that. I'm trying to just give it something, you know, a little bit different here. But you can hear, yeah, so what we've got going on here is basically this kind of bass line where most of the groove is happening in eighth notes. Like, for example, what we have here is we have this first note which plays out for almost a bar, and then on that last eighth note before the next bar, this next note comes in. So it's kind of like that. And then over here, we have like this stuff. So I think I'm actually going to move these down to just A sharp. So yeah, and then you can see over here, it's like doing the same thing where it's going up on that little eighth note there. Or the upbeat, I guess you would say. And let's do something a little different the second time. Yeah, like that. That's good. Cool, so from here, we can maybe do a little bit more with these hi-hats. I've got all these hi-hats in here, so, you know, might as well do something with them. So we can just start adding in some extra little hits here. And the key is just to not go too overboard. Like, you can do it, like, too much. If you go, yeah, if you just don't, like, think about what you're doing. But if you know how to kind of, like, make it work with the beat, or at least just, like, kind of do it tastefully, this can have some good results. Alright, that sounds pretty good. So we'll copy that over, and then I'm going to make some changes to it. Like, I'll just change around some of the sounds in here. And maybe take a few notes out, but, you know, just trying to add some nice, like, some nice kind of variation here, so it's not just the same thing the whole time through. And let's turn down the velocity on that last note there a little bit as well. Cool, that sounds pretty good. So from there, I also have these little, like, percussion sounds. Like these two, and these extra rim shots here. And so I'm going to bring these into the drum rack, so we can just add some more to it, because right now it's kind of like just hi-hats. And the thing about these beats is, you don't want them to be too busy, but you do definitely need, like, a good combination of hi-hats and percussions, I feel like. So I'm going to take some of these and maybe move them around to different, like, percussion sounds. Awesome, that sounds pretty tight. Cool, so from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to group the drums together. And we're going to just put a little bit of processing on the group just to kind of beef them up a little bit. With this style, you know, it's more about the programming for sure, and you definitely can have it be a lot more dry and have it work. But I like to do a little bit to my drums, and you'll see, like, it really does help to kind of, you know, give them that nice texture and, like, bring them all together. Like, one of the problems that I have a lot with the style, or that I used to have when I was kind of more of a beginner with it, was that, like, you know, you choose a bunch of different sounds, and then they end up just not really sounding, like, kind of in the same world as each other. But by putting some processing on the group, we can kind of work around that. So let's just put the saturator on. Yeah, there we go. You can hear it really helps to tie these all together. I'm just trying to bring them out a bit. Alright, that sounds pretty tight. Cool, so now I'm going to make a pad of some sort. So I think that I'm going to use analog for this as well. And I have a specific idea of what I want to do. Now, I want to play a few different things and kind of see what's going to work over this. That's kind of cool. Okay, so let's play this little thing. Basically, what we're going to do here is it's going to be playing F minor during the first half. And then in the second half, what we're going to do is we're going to take that F minor and we're just going to shift that G sharp up to A sharp. And then we're going to shift the F down to C sharp. That's what I was playing. And this sounds pretty good over top of this. Nice, and with the pads in this style of music, it kind of depends. Like, a lot of times in burial tracks, you know, they'll just be playing a chord progression, or maybe they'll be playing something kind of close to the bass. But I kind of like having them play something a little bit different, because this style can get a bit repetitive. And so when you have, like, your bass line doing something different from these chords here, kind of helps to make it a little bit more interesting musically. It gives you something a little bit more to sink your teeth into. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this amp envelope, and we're just going to make that like that. And let's try switching this to a square wave. I'm going to turn off this oscillator. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually turn off the envelope on the filter. And then we're going to use this formant filter. And so the formant filter basically allows you to get kind of a more like vocally sound out of it. Or like a more sort of valley sound. You can just kind of like, oh. And so we can use this to make a really nice pad. So if I put this through some reverb. And maybe we'll give it a bit of attack. And some vibrato. Yeah, there we go. And you can hear like what we're able to do with this formant filter and the way that I made this pad is we can just make it sound like more interesting, you know? It's not just like a basic square wave going through like a low pass or something like that. It's a bit deeper. So I've got an EQ8 on there just cutting out some low end. I'm also going to turn on this LFO1 and put it on the filter frequency so we just get a little bit of movement. Just something like that you can hear. Maybe even on the resonance. I don't know, that might sound a little too. We'll do a little bit. Cool, so let's put a little bit of chorus on there. And I kind of want to try adding like one more voice on top of that chord there. Like maybe just one long F that just plays each time one of these plays. Awesome. Whoa, this is sounding pretty good. We made a cool little like future garage beat. So I think that is going to bring it to a close for today, guys, like I said, I've kind of started from the ground up and built it into this little thing. And yeah, so that's me for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to let me know what you think of this video in the comments, and make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And once again, you can get the project file and the samples and all the stuff that I made in here for free in the description, so make sure to check that out. If you're Patreon on Patreon, check that because it will be available shortly for you without a download gate. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.